Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gaming After Dark. It's Boo Boo Kaboom Noof Nukem is in the room, and I am here with my lovely and amazing co-host,
Primal Eve.
How the hell is everybody doing on this fantastic Tuesday evening? I am doing good so far. I'm staying healthy, at least, trying to stay home and trying to adhere to all of the regulations and stuff that are put out there for us with our governments and stuff like that. How about yourself, Primal? Staying healthy, staying cool?
Yeah, trying to do my best, and you all know that I'm also working, so I'm trying to do my best being safe out there. And so far so good. I'm full of meat, and I have some good games to play. So those are definitely some good things going on.
Well, you know it's going to be a good show when Primal starts off by saying she's full of meat.
Damn it.
Are you wearing a mask at work, all that stuff, or you got one of those plexiglass pieces in front of you, that sort of thing?
We don't, because we're actually I'm close to the public right now. I do a lot of internal work. We have stuff that's sent into us, so we don't necessarily need to have the masks, but we definitely sanitize quite a bit. We were gifted huge gallons of prisoner-made hand sanitizer, which smells so fantastic. It's like 90% rubbing alcohol and like 2% piss pot, like possibly from the part of it. But no, we're very sanitary. We constantly, like, my hands are so freaking dry from the sanitizer and the washing and stuff. But going out in public, it's like a whole new world. It is absolutely insane.
Your hands are so dry now. If you fingered yourself, it'd be like using sandpaper, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, my innards would be dry and blowing that shit, and there'd be dust if I put my hands in there. That's how dry they are.
Well, the tales of tales. We're gonna have a little bit more. We're gonna start off the show with a little bit of that, I guess, and then we're gonna jump into the game topics and different things. But let's give a big shout out to obviously the amazing people that we have in the chat already, and we're starting off with Back from the Dead. Welcome, Timothy Dixon is in the house. HR Bomber is here. Spider-Man 356. Joe Dunmore, Alex Basha. We've got Jason Ellis. We've got scroll down, catch up with everybody here. Who am I missing? Anime Heaven X23 is here with us. Dreadpool is in the house. We got Casket Repair, Axel 1324, Atrocity Nights. There we go. We got a good crew here already. Like I said, guys, share it out, hit the like button, all that good stuff. We're hoping to keep you guys entertained over the next 90 minutes, 2 hours, and we're crossing our fingers. Everybody in the chat, cross your fingers. I hope to God the Primal's internet stays for the whole show. She never seems to make her own damn question of the week.
I know, that pisses me off, because I do take some time and I think about like what my answers are going to be, what kind of questions would be interesting, and then it's fucking like, because I'll sit there on my breaks at work like
So. Yeah, I can't remember. I think I was trying to line up a guest for this week, Spider-Man, but whatever happened, just nothing kind of worked out for now, and that's fine. But next week, I think it should be Tuesday the 21st, if my memory serves correctly, we're going to try to line up several guests for next week on the podcast, because it could be the final Gaming After Dark for a couple of weeks. Now, let me explain before everybody freaks out. No, we're not going to shut this thing down, but you've heard the stories already. I'm moving into a new home, and it's legitimately new. It's a new stretch of townhomes, which means there has been no cable company out to set up the wiring. And because of the whole COVID stuff right now, they're not quite sure if they can send somebody out to get it done. So I might technically be a couple of weeks without legitimate internet, which means you won't even see me on Xbox even. If you see me online at all, I'll be using my damn phone and my wireless network, which is really going to suck. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, but hopefully that isn't the case, but I won't know until after next week when I've sized everything up and I've had a chance to talk in detail with my cable service provider. So, so next week could potentially be the last show, at least until I get that sorted out and all that stuff. And before I get to anything else, I don't know if you guys have noticed the new Gaming After Dark banner, which I tried to put that on my site today, but some reason where YouTube was acting really weird and wouldn't let me change anything. So I'll try to get that up right away. But shout out to the amazing work of everybody's favorite Canadian, the graphic god, That's right. I got Graphic God to do that up, and it looks fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you can see it on Twitter. It's Gaming After Dark. It looks like a neon sign reminiscent of a lot of the strip clubs you may have seen in the past. Kind of even has the animated version has the little like flickering as well, and then it has the two controllers basically doing circles around the stripper poles, which is fantastic. So,
yeah,
what do you think of it? Primal looks good.
So like the second I saw it, and like I was filled with stripper joy. I thought it was really cool, and it's very fitting. Absolutely, it's perfect. So thank you so much, Jay.
Very fitting. I like how you summed that up.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the animation, it takes on a whole new life of its own, and I loved it. That's what I told Jay. I said, Jay, well, you know us, you know the podcast. I said, I don't really know what I'm thinking of. I said, but maybe something. I said, sort of like the old strip club signs, and that's all I told him. And then he comes back with that, and I'm like, man, that's fantastic.
It's spot on. Yeah, it's
awesome. Absolutely. Alrighty, Dreven Arrow, what's happening, man? How's it going tonight, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's staying safe, all that good stuff. So we'll get into some topics in a second, but probably let's just talk about the state of the world we're in right now. Everybody's probably sick of it, I'm sure, but what's been happening in your world? How have things have changed for you? How are things been going at home? Because I know you got your kid, and now you're probably getting to spend the most time you've spent with her. Probably, well, no, you're still working, so it probably hasn't changed as much for you. Well, but yeah, I know a lot of people are ready to pull their hair out right now. So
yeah, I am kind of glad that I'm working, so I don't have to see her all the time. I love her to death. She's like my best friend. She's like one of the coolest people ever. She's driving me fucking nuts, though. I am very glad that in our district that they are keeping up with the education, so she still has some school work to do and everything, and supposedly she is still returning to school. I know some states finished off schools completely for the school year, but they're still trying to keep them going. But so far it's all right. I am kind of worn. I'm sure she's not too pleased. Actually, I'm sure she's very pleased to be able to be home all day while her mom's at work, and I know her apex level has gone up quite a bit.
There you go. So she's getting in some serious game time, is what you're saying.
Yeah. But like so far everywhere I go, just people, it's just odd to see so many people wearing the mask, wearing the gloves. All of us kind of like have to be in the uniform stance, and it's weird because you don't want to get too close, but you really want that butter. And you have to just like wait your turn. The Walmart by me has these arrows where you can only go in a certain direction.
That's right. Yeah, we have that too.
I was bad. I went the wrong way at one point. But it's just it's so weird. It's uncomfortable.
I know, it's like playing Pac-Man. It's like literally a version of Pac-Man when you're going in the aisles in these stores. It's like hard to know which way to be going. And some people obviously are trying to be respectful of the space, and other people just don't think they don't give a fuck.
Well, they don't give a fuck. They'll be all up in you. You can smell them and probably like have drops of sweat on you. It's just like
And there's still those people that are like dicking around, like they're obviously going in the store with no sense of purpose, because you can tell. Like, when I'm going in, I'm trying to get in, I'm trying to get the frig out. I got a list. I generally know what I'm going for. Yeah, I might stop for a second and look at something maybe I didn't plan, but I'm not really there hanging out dilly-dally. But I've seen people that they're in, though. They got no cart, they got no box.
Why are you?
And they're just kind of like looking. They're just stopping and looking. You know what I mean? It's like, crazy.
I don't know. It also kind of like, are people really going this nuts because they've been home for a month? Like, I feel like some people are going a little overboard, like they're losing their minds. Like, is it really? Maybe it's because we're gamers and we don't feel that same effect because we would rather stay home.
I saw a great. It's like a great meme or whatever. I saw it on on Facebook, and it was somebody posted a picture of a car next to a cabin, and it said, "I don't ever want to hear when this is over somebody say, yeah, I could easily spend a whole month alone by myself in a cabin for $1 million, but yet they can't stay home 5 days to save their grandmother." You know what I mean?
No, people are going nuts. They're talking about how their hair is going, and I'm like, it's been a month. Like, I'm pretty sure you weren't doing your hair the way that you are your whole entire life. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it.
If this takes a couple of months, sex is going to be like back in the 1970s. We're going to be kumbaya. We're going to have to invest in some new bushwhackers or something like that.
Oh, my God. What's that movie? There's this one movie that I watched. It was like one of my first porns. Debbie Does Dallas. I don't know. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows about that.
I've heard of that one.
No, it's about this cheerleader who gets it on with everybody, and they're all little on the hairy side.
Big shout out to Dirk Griggity. He drops $5 in the super chat. Says he just stopped by to say what's up. Have a great show. If you guys missed it last week, Dirk Griggity was our first time guest on there last week, and he was amazing. Yes. Can't wait to get him back again. So Dirk, we will have you back soon, sir. Dreadpool's in the chat. Dread's offering to come on tonight. Well, tend to just kind of keep this with the two of us for tonight, but Dread, I'll keep you in mind perhaps for next week. I got
he needs to get on here because I see him all the time. He's kind of like hinting, like, "Yay!"
Well, he is welcome to come in. We don't have a I'll send you a link, Dread, if you want to stop in. Just give me a couple seconds here.
Yeah. Noof and I need our alone time too.
Guys and girls getting pubes like afros now. This is Born Distracted in the chat. What's going on, Abacab? How you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm a natural redhead, so it'd be like Ronald McDonald down there for me.
So really, so your pic right now that we see on the screen.
Oh no, I color my hair.
The drapes don't match the curtains.
The drapes do not match the curtains. I'm naturally redhead. My mom's side, they're all gingers and they're Irish, and then my dad, I got the darkness from the Jamaican side. So, but I came out like a black Ronald McDonald when I was born. If I can whip up some baby pictures, I'll put it on here. But I am a ginger, and
yeah. Well, that's something new that I even didn't know. And then you told me about your crazy, like your heritage and stuff, and the mixture. That's quite wild. Jamaican and fucking Irish in the same.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I don't know what alcohol and weed was involved in that situation.
I was gonna say somebody was having a great party and you popped out. Fire crotch is HR bomber. There you go.
Yeah, so that's why I don't know if I ever posted a picture of my kid before, but she's followed the gingeritis. Yeah. So we're both freckled and we're both gingered.
Well, I suppose if any of the guys in the chat are lucky enough to get with you, just let that thing grow out downstairs, and it'll look like Sean White got Gonzo in a headlock.
There was one time I did grow it out, and it was for Valentine's Day, and I shaped it into a heart, and so it was a little red heart.
There you go. As we didn't have to get to the questions tonight, we're dropping it for you in here right now.
Right, I know.
There you go. Everybody's like, man, this show is already off the rails. That train is derailed already. Oh man, this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, but man, I don't want to take up too much time on this topic because, I'm sure people are sick of it. Every time I turn the TV on, it's everywhere, and I know we've never faced a situation like this. So, in all the history, since I've been born, I don't recall anything like it. I mean, our fucking economies are shut down. I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, right? No, this is like a whole nother. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing what I'm told, pretty much.
Yeah. So. But man, we have seen some weird shit out there. Like the pictures, there's people with bags on their head, people that got like the back cut out of like water jugs stuck on their face, and people walking in now. It's funny, people walking into 7-Elevens and grocery stores with Banditos on, looking, you're like, back in the day, the cops should have been called on you, right?
Oh, shit, yeah, no.
I saw a joke about that too, where there's like a joke where the guy walks in, he's got the bandana on his face, he looks at the cashier, and she goes, "Oh, thank God." She said, for a second, she goes, "I thought you had COVID."
I know, it's so crazy. It's like everything is going backwards, and I don't know. Yeah,
it's just nuts. Yeah, every time I show up at the store, there's new rules and new regulations and stuff like that. So, I like I said, I just watch as much as I can, keep my distance, and let the rest of it go as it may. Right? What's going on, Rico Dennis? How you doing, man? How you doing? Glad that you could be here. Yeah. So let's get into some topics tonight. Well, I don't know if I even dropped this one in the chat, but I saw this was pretty cool, kind of related to this incident. Sony, right now for the PlayStation, they're offering up a couple of free games to people it's called Play at Home, Stay at Home, or something like that. So right now you can actually download Uncharted Collection and Journey. I mean, yeah, a lot of people have played those games, but hell, they're still free games. If you haven't had them, especially if you're new. And I know there's a lot of new PlayStation owners out there right now, according to the sales at our local electronics stores. I know my Walmart can't keep the consoles in stock. It's crazy. It's like Christmas out there for consoles. So obviously people are trying to buy their time and do something with it. And it looks like gaming is one of the avenues. It's one of the best things. We've been telling people that a long time ago, but they're just listening right now, right?
Right, I know. This is like a cash cow right now for Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Like their sales, I know, are going up. People are going to want to stay home and try and do something. And thank you for like the free games and shit that they've been doing, like with Sony and Uncharted. And for some reason, Microsoft has the opposite effect with their current sale that they have right now. It's couch co-op sale. And I'm like, wait a second. We're supposed to be keeping our distance. I wish they had an online multiplayer, sale. That'd be fantastic. I don't know what made them be like, hey, it's time to do couch co-op in this time of dire need.
Yeah, I can think of a fantastic thing to do couch co-op wise, but it usually means there's more bacteria, not less. Abacab, I'm not sure if what you're saying is if it's the truth or what you're saying, and I'm going to assume that it is. But if you did lose a relative due to this crazy freaking virus, man, then on behalf of everybody here, our heart goes out to you and sincerest condolences. I mean, I don't think any of us can even wrap our heads around the magnitude. I mean, up here in Canada, I don't know if you see any stories from up here, but like we got our senior citizens homes up here, especially in Ontario and Quebec. Like they're getting devastated. One place had 30-something deaths inside the senior home.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying, and that's what I was talking to you about before. I'm in New York, and most of you guys know that New York is the hardest hit state in the United States right now. We're getting hundreds and hundreds of deaths like per day. And unfortunately, even though they say that like we're plateauing, that we've hit a peak, these numbers are so massive. And the more people aren't doing this whole social distancing thing and actually taking care of themselves, the worse it's going to get. Yes, we're joking about it. We have a laugh. Yeah. And Newf, I believe that you and I have the same thing where like you gotta like laugh at something. You gotta laugh to make something good out of what's going bad. But this is a serious thing. People are dying, and it's still out of our control.
Totally. Well, I mean, this is an unprecedented situation, and it absolutely, you have to take it serious. And with saying it, you still have to keep a bit of a sense of humor, because not only is our economy getting devastated, but it's our mental, it's our sociological, our mental capacity, emotional, like every part of the human being right now is getting drained, financially, emotionally, physically, psychologically. I mean, when this shit's all said and done, like I said, we got to worry about people that are going to suffer from mental breakdowns. We got to worry about families that are either going. Some families are going to grow together over this because they've spent time with each other they never had in the past. There's other families who are going to tear themselves apart over this because they can't stand each other. Probably even when they barely saw each other now, they're living with each other and can't do anything. So I can only imagine how many domestic disputes there probably are. Right now, like it's just like there's so many aspects of this whole thing that most people don't even think about. We haven't seen the full magnitude yet.
No, not at all, and we don't know what we're doing. Like I said before, like we're just kind of going day by day with what's going on.
Well, totally. Well, like I said, I guess the problem is that there's a sense of a selfish attitude. Some people don't believe this is the real deal. And people are like, yeah, well, if I get it. And okay, we get where you're going. But the thing is if you get it, it's the other people that you affect. Like in my household, I have my senior mother-in-law living with me. And that's my biggest worry, because I know seniors are the most susceptible. And I would not want to bring something into this household, period. But even more so because if I gave it to her, or figure that she's a good chance it came from me, like that would be devastating,
Oh yeah, so. You that will be with you for the rest of your life, and that could hang over you. Like you don't want that responsibility or knowledge that you caused something. So
yeah. And on behalf of both of us on the panel, shout out to everybody that's still working, that has to be out there. Whatever you are, whatever service you're in, the fact that you're still working, trying to keep our economy rolling to some extent, and risking your own personal safety, then shout out goes to all of you. Like there's too many to encompass, but I say a big hello and a big thank you to everybody.
Yeah, and don't be rude. and like appreciate, like, myself included. We're here to help you,
Mm-hmm.
and we do have an option not to. I could just leave my job and file for unemployment, which surprisingly I would get paid more if I filed for unemployment. It's messed up here. But I had some customers that were just extremely rude because they weren't getting their service when they wanted it.
Yeah.
This, and not everything is going to be exactly how you expect it to be. Just like appreciate the
No.
fact that people are doing things for you and helping you and working for you.
And most of the places that are still open, they're short staffed. The staff that are there are overworked, they're stressed, they're tired. There's a lot of things going in. So when you're out, if you are out getting your takeout or whatever, and things are slower than normal, take that into account. At least you're still able to get stuff from these businesses and the people that are still good enough to come in. And Dreadpool brings it up in the chat too. And Abacab first, like he says, he sees people not out without protection, not carrying, and it pisses him off. And especially now that it's hit home because he has a relative who has passed through to this. So nothing hits worse than, like I said, when it's personal and you are directly affected, not just hearing it on the news. So again, man, serious condolences. And Dreadpool says, some people go to conspiracy theories like the G5 towers. And that I think is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah,
no doubt, I'm sure cellular towers have an effect like constant exposure to microwaves or any cell phone they said can be bad. But I mean, this is certainly not what's causing coronavirus. My God.
Yeah. Just whatever excuse, whatever attention, whatever people would just suck.
Oh, yeah. And then you got the other side of the coin, like Born Distracted brings up. There's a lot of people now cheating the system for that government money when they don't. I mean, it's, theoretically, I suppose everybody deserves it, theoretically speaking. But if you're still out there, working and stuff, and you didn't lose your job and your income really hasn't been affected, that's not what they're supplying the money for. It's supposed to be for people that have no income or next to no income, took a huge loss. And there's going to be those people that are going to exploit that. And they're going to find ways around the system, and they're going to get all this extra money. Like, oh, look, I'm going to go camping when this is all over. I'm going to fly to Europe.
This money needs to be used for what is hurting you. Like, even now, yes, I am working, but that doesn't mean I'm getting my full hours or full pay. So this whole stimulus thing that's going around, that's helping us survive. Don't be blowing that money because you don't know what could happen a month from now with this shit. So
yeah. Well, Huge Creature, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining the show, man. Appreciate you being here. And that's true. If there's one thing about this whole thing, and this will be my last thought on this whole matter, we'll move on to some gaming topics and stuff. But if there's one thing I hope comes out of it, is I hope that everybody, no matter which walk of life you're in, no matter what circumstances you're in, that takes the moment to appreciate the finer things in life, the things we so often take for granted, because man, we are just starting to finally see now how much things we do, whether it's our family, whether it's our health, whether it's just the fact that you can go out with free will and go and buy things when you choose. And, so many of our freedoms are constricted or taken away right now. And I hope that people finally get a sense of, man, when hopefully things get back to some sense of normalcy, of all the stuff that we have taken for granted. And it is a lot. And we take people at the grocery stores. We take the people that, a lot of us tend to look down on sometimes, working those minimum wage jobs. And, you disregard them. Well, when this is all over, we need to definitely say thank you. We definitely need to say, you know what? We've taken these positions for granted. Our governments have taken these positions for granted, and it's time to wake up.
But here's the thing, Noof, and this is kind of shitty. And I don't know if it's because I'm just disappointed with a lot of people, but I don't think that's what's going to happen after this. No.
It'll be back. It'll be back to normal. Yeah, it'll be back like nothing ever happened, because that's the society we live in. Yeah. And, my Facebook page, one thing I said to people too on there is I said, guys, you know what? Your information that you share, especially on Facebook, YouTube, and these things, is only as good as your source. I said, make sure that you always consider your source before you start spreading propaganda, because there's so many conspiracy theories and so many crap I see, and all these numbers, these death toll numbers and different things are always different. Like I'm seeing it from different spots. It's like, if you're going to get your news from CNN, I would hope that there's somebody like that that's fairly reputable. But if it's like CJ02, .rocks.com or something like that, because you see these stupid, especially on the YouTube, you see these weird links. I'm like, what the fuck news source is that? Where are they getting this information, right? A lot of it's hearsay, it's theoretical, it's opinionated, and people take it as gospel, and then they go off. So, yeah.
Anyway, nothing's reliable nowadays. It's just how it is.
Absolutely. Anyway, guys, enough talk about that. Any final thoughts, Primer? We're going to move along here.
I could probably talk about this all day, but no. I've said enough.
Okay, I think I was heading in a direction with the topic here. We were talking about we're talking about Sony giving away some free games. Actually, I did have that on there. So it's called Play at Home. You download 2 free games on them, and I think that, and I also think that this is for anybody that has PlayStation, whether you're PlayStation Plus or not. I think they're giving away those games. Mm-hmm. So that's another, because not everybody has PlayStation Plus, so they haven't always been able to get those games. So if you're new to PlayStation right now, that's a fantastic little button. I mean, 2 highly acclaimed games. You got 4? You got 3 games in one on the Uncharted collection, and then you get Journey. I've never played Journey. It looks okay, but either which way, it's a bonus, right? So kudos to them for doing something like that.
And then I see people bitching because they're like, "Oh, Uncharted has been out for blah blah blah." Like, it's free,
it's free. They didn't have to do anything. Too many of us gamers are jaded and ungrateful. It's even like games that go, the fact that they even give you games at all, they don't have to. They never had to.
They suck. But
they suck. But you know what? For us, because we buy and consume so many games, that's the problem, right? But for a lot of people that don't have the incomes or don't play a lot of games, I bet you every month is like a gift to them. I bet you if you took the average kid, especially the younger kids that don't really get into the Metacritic scores, or they're watching reviews or following podcasts, they're looking at these games going, "Holy crap! I got like 4 free games!" So,
and I wish I still had that innocence, before
me too.
Twitter world and all that bullshit. Like, I was just in my own ignorant bliss and enjoying all the games. Now I have to hear everybody bitch. Like,
I think Microsoft will have to change that model though eventually, though, because at some point they're trying to promote Game Pass, and they're going to have to figure out something, because after at some point in time, like, what are you going to give away, right?
Yeah,
you're trying to put all your good games over Game Pass, so I don't know, like, it's just weird. So our first legitimate topic of the night is Dark Pictures Little Hope. A reveal trailer came out for that. Looks pretty spooky, pretty cool. I don't know if anybody in the chat has played any of these games by Supermassive Game. I think it's Supermassive. They're based out of Canada. If you're not familiar, their first big hit was I got something screwed up in my chat going on here. Hang on. Their first big hit was Until Dawn. It was a PlayStation exclusive for the longest time, and I played that game, and it was unbelievably phenomenal. Think of a more immersive version of the Telltale games, where Telltale games kind of hold your hand and show you the cutscenes, and you just make the choices. These games are kind of like actually playing a game, where there's an actual legitimized story, and you actually have gameplay in between. Most of the Telltale stuff was very limited. Like, you walk, like 3 or 4 feet in one direction.
It depends on your Telltale. I'm not gonna. I love my Telltale games. It just depends. If you play like the Walking Dead ones, they slowly did start having more action. Well, Wolf Among Us definitely had some of the most action, but I kind of
not on the same levels as that one, right?
No.
I think
not at all.
The Supermassive, like Until Dawn, was even more. I said, free flowing than even the ones that are done by Quantic Dream. Quantic Dream, the guys who do Detroit Become Human and those games.
Right.
Like those games by Quantic Dream are a little closer to the Telltale, where Supermassive feels a bit more like an actual game. Kind of reminds me of the old Resident Evil games, where a lot of lot of perspectives are fixed, but you still get to play. Like you're actually shooting, or you're actually running, you're actually going left and right, you're actually moving through the environments, and then you find the clues, and those trigger actions and stuff like that, and go on, so on and so forth. So like I said, Until Dawn was phenomenal. Man of Medan, I had high hopes for, and it kind of let me down. It was average. It was decent. I would recommend anyone who likes those kind of games definitely pick up if you find it cheap, which I did. And maybe this one looks pretty good. What was your take on what you've seen of this one? It looks like it's set in a town called Little Hope, I think it's what it's called.
Yeah, no, it definitely gets my interest because I was a fan of Until Dawn, and it's also, is this one going to be co-op as well? Do you know?
That I'm not sure. Most of their games are single player that I know of.
Yeah, and you guys know that I'm not major into horror games. Like with Until Dawn, I had to have somebody in the party with me while I played it. I'm glad it wasn't recorded. But no, it definitely piques my interest. I'm very interested in these games as long as I have somebody with me.
Right.
I wish there were more games like it, honestly.
I agree. Actually, if you haven't played Dead Space 3, myself and Matt Burns have been playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's phenomenal. I can't believe I missed out on it the first time. And it's a phenomenal game, Dead Space 3. And the reason I didn't play the other Dead Spaces, there could be 100 reasons, but I played Dead Space 3 and it's fantastic, and it's co-op. And that was a big thing for me in co-op. And it's still creepy, but it just makes the game faster, more tolerable when you got a person going along for the ride. And they definitely borrowed a lot of Gears aspects to Dead Space 3. Like it has that feel. They took a lot of the camera angles, the shooting mechanics feel very similar, in my opinion, anyway. But that's a pretty cool game. So yeah, this one, all I know is that it looks really good. It's supposed to come out pretty soon. I didn't actually see the date. I don't know if you caught it or not.
I did not catch it. No.
Okay. I think it's scheduled for late summer, early fall. But who the hell knows the way things are going right now? And it looks like it's set like in one of those like a little town, sort of like, like the Stephen King stuff, like a Massachusetts kind of a thing, very eerie town that has that little town vibe, the crazy looking trees. And I think it's got something to do with this one, like more like witchcraft or something. Cause you see, there's like these almost like the, what do you call them? What's that thing I'm looking for? Like when they use like the voodoo stuff. Yo,
I'm thinking. Sorry.
Or the voodoo. It's kind of like the voodoo stuff, but it looks like witchcraft stuff. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know if anybody in the chat is looking forward to it. If anybody actually likes these games, like I said, kudos to Supermassive. They're also based out of Canada, so that's pretty cool. Another one. Right. So yeah, witchcraft. Yeah, it's a witchcraft. So there's something eerie, some kind of old hag. In this game, it looks like you see this hand crawling up, like it looks like it's coming out of the water, out of a grave or something. So I'm quite interested. I can't wait. And the cool thing with this game is too, they have some pretty decent actors and stuff in the games itself. There's usually at least one or two recognizable people. I did not even realize this at the time, but in Until Dawn, one of their lead protagonists in that game was Rami Malek. You guys may know.
You couldn't tell it was him.
I didn't know because I didn't really even know who he was for the longest time because I wasn't even familiar. Okay. I wasn't even familiar with that popular TV show he was on.
Yeah, shit. Wow, and now my whole brain he's a hacker. And I love that show because it reminded me of Hackers back in the day with Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie. And that's what got me into it. Mr. Robot. That's what it is.
Mr. Robot. That's the one, yes. That show. And I obviously started.
He's an amazing actor. So.
Well, yeah, he won an Academy Award, I think, did he not, for the portrayal of Freddie Mercury?
Yeah.
And then after I see him in that movie, then I go back and I'm looking at this game and I'm like, fuck, I didn't realize it was Rami Malek the whole time. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and then there was him, and then there was Hayden Panettiere from Heroes, and also Kingdom Hearts.
Gotcha. Yeah, so good stuff. But anyway, hopefully people will pick that up and support another game when it comes out. So we're gonna move right along here. We got some more great topics on here, and this is an this is a good one, and this is gonna spark a lot of debate. Mm-hmm. So. I think lots of people right now, and I see tons of people playing Final Fantasy VII, right? As they should. It's a popular game. It's probably one of this year's biggest releases, hands down. People have been waiting several years since the original E3 announcement.
23 years from the original.
Yeah,
And
23 years from the original. And when was it they announced that at E3? It was a long time ago. Like it was literally like what, about 6 years ago? Remember they teased us like Final Fantasy remake, and we never saw nothing after that for years.
And they even teased us before then when they were doing Advent Children, and they had a little something afterwards in between Advent Children and 15 where they said that it was just like a test screen that they were messing around with, and it was pretty much the opening cutscene of 7. And they lied. They're liars, but they did something magical, new. I can tell you that. I did something. I did something on Friday.
Yeah.
I moved some funds around, and you guys know I'm broke as shit.
Yeah.
But I had to have this game, and I bought it. Good. I'm more than halfway through with it, but
right. But it's been a good ride so far, then.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm hearing people are like very emotional. There's a lot of stuff that says true to the original and a lot of new stuff in there. So I'm glad that people are really liking it. That's the bottom line. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that I am hearing, and I'm not sure how I feel about this, and I'm going to take some flack for it, I'm sure. It depends on which side of the fence you're on. But I'm hearing people in the populace in our community, gaming community, going, Game of the Year contender. So I don't know how I feel about that. Like I'm hearing everybody saying they're loving the game, and that's the most important part. But should remakes, and I'm passing this question along to everybody in the chat as well. Should a remake, like you could totally rule out remaster because that's not even the same. But a remake, when you're basically building the game from scratch, you're adding features to it, you're doing a overhaul of the sound, the graphics, etc. Obviously, this is one part of that whole game, and it's only one part so far. So it kind of makes you wonder how many episodes does this sound to be. But should it be considered? Primal?
Are you ready?
I'm asking you. You give me your lowdown on what you feel, and I'll tell you how I feel about it.
This has been a topic this whole weekend with a couple buddies of mine. One of them's like, it's only part of a game, blah, blah, blah. Like, it shouldn't, like, why is it still $60? And it's just like, first of all, to me, this game, I already got like 30 hours in, and I'm not done yet. I'm on chapter 13 out of 18, and it's a full game to me from how I'm playing it right now.
That's good.
And it would just be like they broke it down as if, like, let's say Gears. This is Final Fantasy 7-1. Just like there's Gears 1, and then there'll be Final Fantasy 7-2, just like there's Gears 2. I see it in a series in that respect. Could it be Game of the Year? Yes. It's a brand new game built from the bottom up. It's not a remaster, it's a remake. Just like if Resident Evil 2, a lot of people were shooting for that to be Game of the Year.
Right.
That's also
and I think that did get nominated last year.
Yeah. So I understand they're doing in episodes, but to me, I don't look at it as in episodes. I just see it as in a series, a Final Fantasy 7 series. And it's a full-length game. If this game was maybe 10, 15 hours long, my opinion would be completely different. If this didn't hit all my boxes for things to do, storyline, side quest, character development, they did add new storyline from the game, which was a pleasant surprise to keep it fresh. They did keep everything, and I mean, like the little things. Like I'm not going to create any spoilers or anything for anybody, but sliding down this damn slide in the park was like blew my mind because that was like that was such a big deal. And even the parts that I hated in 7, they're in this too. But it was like a love-hate. They did such a good job of doing just enough without not doing too little. Like they didn't do it so where they completely changed it. They enhanced it. Even with the music's perfect. The graphics are like it's a playable cutscene 99.9% of the time. There are some technicalities. I can't give the game a 10 out of 10. Okay. There are, like, I'm a massive fan, but there are some technicalities. There's little things here and there that's kind of like, you guys could have done a little something different, but it's still it's a complete game, and I believe it deserves Game of the Year.
Yeah. Well, I'm very pleased to know that you feel this way about this game because because I know one of the other Square Enix games that you had really high on your radar, you sounded very disappointed with, and that was
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
And I like Square is by far has been my favorite. Anything when it comes to like, well, except for Final Fantasy Spirits Within, that was a disaster. But movies, games, anything that Square puts their hands on, like I am 100% backing it and I support it. But I will fucking say, hey, that was shit. And I'm sorry, Kingdom Hearts fans. I recently played through 1 and 2 again, and they're nothing compared to 3. 3 was kind of slapped together, and I know that they were trying to just do it because everybody's like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? They needed to push that shit out, and that's what happened. It was an incomplete game to me, and it sucks. But with 7, you can tell the dedication and the passion that was put into this game.
Well, it's funny because my favorite games, or at least 3 of my favorite games this entire generation, are also published by Square Enix, but they're not of a Japanese RPG descent. They are the Tomb Raider franchise.
Tomb Raider, yeah. I think they did
made by Crystal Dynamics.
Those are some of your favorite games right there.
Amazing. Another thing, like of Square Enix, like those are, well, no, Square Enix also, I think, published Deus Ex.
Yes,
so, and those are also Eidos Montreal, because Crystal Dynamics did the first 2 Tomb Raider games, and then it was Eidos Montreal that took over for Shadow the Tomb Raider, and then Deus Ex as well, also published by Square Enix. So yeah, they definitely got quite the catalog going right now, a resurgence of sorts. Let's catch up with the chat first before I weigh in on the topic. Alex Basher, what's happening? Shizno Elite is in the house. Jason Ellis says yes, so he's all for it. Getting Game of the Year nod. Shizno says nope. Alex Master says no. Spider-Man says no. Sparhawk, what's happened? Sparhawk, I don't know if you're new to the podcast. He says no.
I'm all right.
Infinite is here as well. Infinite, how you doing tonight, man? Appreciate you being here. So so far we got a lot of no's. Spider-Man says it's not a new game. Darko Streamers in us. What's up, Darko? And
I'm gonna have to make a chat room after this, a little private chat room with some of these guys. We're gonna have it out.
Well, it looks like so far the chat is mostly no, and that's where I'm gonna say. And like I said, I am torn because I do appreciate that. First of all, it's a labor of love. They went back to the drawing board. They took probably the most popular, one of the most popular PlayStation era RPGs ever. A game that's near and dear to the hearts of many, and they remade it. They didn't technically have to do it, but they went out and did it. And like I said, they put a lot of love into even just one section of the game, which now has turned out to be one episode. Now, I'm going out on a limb. I'm saying they're going to have 3 games, like a trilogy of sorts to finish this.
Like this one, this 2, this 3. It was 3.
Yeah. And something tells me they're probably fairly far along with the second and third parts as well, is what I'm thinking. But obviously, just because of release date, trying to get it out, and and especially with Sony and the 1-year exclusivity, it's huge for them. I don't agree as well with that long of exclusivity. I know why they do it, but freaking a year before it comes to Xbox is ridiculous. Like 3 months, come on. But holding it back from another platform that long is a bit outrageous. Yes, Xbox has done that in the past too with Tomb Raider, but I don't think Tomb Raider made the same kind of dent. But then again, you know what? Tomb Raider caused such a fuss when that came out and it was exclusive to Xbox for the year. We heard the cries, oh, this is bullshit, and Xbox is holding it off. And so it goes both ways. The door swings both ways here. Squirrely Dan, what's up, brother? How you doing? And for me, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no simply because we don't see it in the movie industry. We don't see reboots of movies get nominated for movies of the year. Even a lot of times they have new actors and they've added more to the story or taken it away.
They haven't been good.
What?
They haven't been good. Name one movie remake that beat the original.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Actually, I will make one. Mad Max Fury Road. But it wasn't an
exact remake. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a carbon copy remake. No, absolutely. There were very few of those. That Ghostbusters one that came out, which was supposed to be a reboot, that was almost god awful. It wasn't really because of the ladies. A lot of people have to go because it's 4 late. That had nothing to do with it. What would have been better for that movie was, see, the fact that movie come out and they were trying to ignore that the original 2 movies ever existed. They were, because they didn't use the old place. They didn't use the car or nothing. It would have been better if that Ghostbusters movie had the ladies, but it would have been a continuation. Like they are the new recruits. You know what I mean? Following up the events, but they acted like the other two never existed. It was like a reboot, and then they screwed up and made so much stuff that was so freaking weird. I don't know.
Right. So. No, sometimes there's just too much. Even like with Blade Runner, I didn't like the remake either.
Right. But that's technically a sequel, isn't it? The new Blade Runner 2029 or whatever.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a sequel. It's not a remake of the original Harrison Ford one.
I fucking fell asleep. So
True Grit. Sparhawks is True Grit, which is a Western. That was a remake. Yeah. Mary Poppins from Infinite puts that one in the chat. Yeah, well, Scarface, there has been no Scarface sequel, not that I've known.
They shouldn't do that. Why would they do that? Yeah. Why? Oh, you know what? That kind of goes into one of the other topics that you had on here. I don't know if you already know what I'm hinting at about why fix something that's not broken.
Chase there, Jay. What's going on? Yeah, Scarface is such a great movie. A lot of horror movies seem to be getting remade for some weird reason. It's probably because they're easier to remake. The budgets are a lot less, and then they try to become big and popular amongst the new generation. You know, the Instagram crowd, right? Because the old Freddy Krueger, you know, back in the day, the old Nightmare on Elm Street resonates with a lot of us old fuckers in the chat. But for the new people, they're like, "Who knows this Freddy Krueger guy?" You know, and that sort of shit. So they keep making the crowd.
That's so crazy.
I know.
Like world is dirt now.
Most of the kids I talk to now, they barely even know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. It's like you watch a Terminator, they're like, "What?"
Yeah, I had to explain to Eris who Bruce Willis was for a while, and like I'm trying to educate her the best I can, but it's just blows my mind.
Well, as Primal was alluding, is a great segue into our next topic, and it's like I said, the Final Fantasy thing, guys. Like I'm not dead against it. I'm not really for it. I don't really know how I feel because I do appreciate the love, the attention to detail that they put into that game, and the fact that people are liking it, and the fact that there's enough new content in there to make it feel new and fresh while retaining a lot of the original stuff that worked is why I'm like, that's why I'm not an absolute no. Like, I don't know how I feel on it. But the bottom line, at the end of the day, if it does get nominated and it wins, I mean, good for the game. I guess the only trend I fear when it comes to stuff like this is that we start to see way too many older reboots of games, right? Instead of new IPs and that's what I'm fearing, because if this game's going to sell like gangbusters, it already is. I know that. And then if it gets the accolades as well, what's to stop all these publishers from going, oh, let's just, instead of spending money on new games, they're just constantly remaking the old ones. We're just playing shit over and over and over again, right? And that's what I'm fearing, because already there's been talk that apparently Activision is planning to, well, they've had success with the Modern Warfare and now Modern Warfare 2, the remasters or whatever they are. And now there's actually talk that they're going to go back and remake Black Ops.
Again?
I can't. And the game's not if you're going to see, that's why Final Fantasy I can make the big exception, because Final Fantasy is from like a fucking 3 decades ago.
But not only that, it's not your turn based. Like it is turn based, but it's not turn based. It's like a hack and slash almost. That you can get lost into. It's different gameplay. It's different mechanics. It's different everything. That's why I'm giving it credit, and I do give it a nomination, because it's a brand new game, old story.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing that pissed me off. Gears of War Ultimate Edition was a remake of the original game. Like it had brand new graphics. They added content to it. It had improved and better multiplayer. It was the complete package. It was the original Gears of War the way technically the designers envisioned it to be. It was, it was literally rebuilt, and that never got hardly a fidget of anybody's imagination. Actually, somebody posted the other night something about the best remake so far, and they didn't include that one on the list. Of course, it was all PlayStation games. So like, how about Gears of War Ultimate Edition? How come that gets no love whatsoever when that game was phenomenal? How good it looked as well, new hardware and stuff. Just got tossed aside, but of course they put in a boring ass game like Shadow of the fucking Colossus, which bored me to fucking tears.
Which didn't make sense to me, because it wasn't really like it was pretty much copy and paste with some smoothing. wasn't anything special. I was shocked. I know exactly which post you're looking at because I
Yeah.
didn't understand why, and that's coming from me who loves that game, but it did not deserve to be on that list.
No, exactly. Like, but anyway, like I said, Final Fantasy, like that to me, if you're gonna remake popular games from any era, go back to the Sega Saturn, the PlayStation, and the N64. And the reason I say that because those games were built on very, very inferior hardware. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so not only do they look now way better graphically, right? I mean, Cloud actually looks like a person now instead of a block figure out of a Minecraft game, right?
It's incredible what they did with it.
Yeah, right. That makes the story even more believable because now it's come full circle. The environments look real, the characters look real. You can really get drawn in now. You know what I mean? So if you're going to remake games, go back at least. To that era, like the Resident Evil remake. The original games, you go back and play them. They're good for their day, but they're not good now. So I can understand why they're being remade. So yeah, but like I said, and I want to end it on here is just I'm just fearing that companies are going to start putting all their money into constant remakes, and I'm also not a big fan of episodic content. I don't even know why they chose to go this route with this game. It still baffles me. I get it; it's a money thing, probably money more than anything. As they wanted to make this game huge. They're stretching it out. We saw how that worked with Lord of the Rings because the original Lord of the Rings trilogy was just 3 movies. And then they turned The Hobbit, which was the smallest book in the whole Tolkien saga, shortest book, and they turned it into the longest fucking movie. They turned it into 3 parts so they can make more money. They added stuff that wasn't even in the books. So they're starting to do this with games, and that's what I'm fearing. Some people are going to like it. Some people are not. I'm not a big fan. I never liked any episodic shit, period. But whatever. Hey, we got some new people in the chat, and we're going to move on. Fastback is in the chat. What's going on, brother? How you doing? We got Ovaldo Brown Records. What's up, man? How are you? Glad you could be here. And the man who made our new banner is in the house. Graphic God. What's up, brother? He should be sleeping, but he's drunk. All right. So that moves us into segue into the next topic, and that is about, remakes and things, right? There's a new Dune coming out. I don't know if you saw the pictures of Dune. I remember that as a kid. I haven't seen that movie in legitimately probably 30 years.
I was probably 3 years old when I saw that movie.
But they got some good actors. They got Oscar Isaac is in this. They got Zendaya. And Zendaya, if you don't know, she's the young chick that was in Spider-Man. What was her name? She played, was it Gwen Stacy? Is it Gwen?
Yeah, well, it wasn't Gwen Stacy. It was MJ.
MJ. She plays the new MJ in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. She's pretty awesome. And they also got what's his name there who was in Deadpool. His name's on the tip of my tongue. He played Cabal. What's his name?
And I looked at this shit too.
Cable. Somebody's gonna have it in the chat, guarantee. What the fuck's his name? The guy play Cable. I hate it when I can't think of it. Oh man. You guys know who he is.
Fuck.
Come on, somebody help me in the chat here. What's his name? Because it's gonna bug the shit out of me now. He played Cable in the Deadpool movie. Josh Brolin. There you go. Come on, chat. I beat you to it. Josh Brolin. He's in there, so that's pretty. So definitely got some good actors. I got to go back and watch the original Dune to be honest, because I can't even remember. All I remember is the big hype at the time was having what's his name in there. It was that Sting. Sting was in that movie.
Oh, Jesus.
The musician Sting, not the wrestler. So there you go. Yes, he also played Thanos. Yes, there's another one of his roles that Josh Brolin played. He played Thanos. Squirrely Dan dropping $5 in the chat. He says they got to go back and remake games that were let down by tech at the time. Yes. Exactly. That's exactly
and I agree with that. One of them being Parasite Eve. I would love for them to remake Parasite Eve. And there's certain games that I believe that gamers today have missed out on because of their generation. Like Eris, I absolutely love playing Final Fantasy VII with Eris watching because she wouldn't watch the original 7. That's too hard on her eyes, and there's no voice. So it's great to see. One, it's like it's cool to have her watch where her origins came from. I'm like, hey, are you excited to see yourself die here in like a couple episodes? But no, it's cool. Some games, yes, some games, no. Which is
Monkey Punch. Well, that makes no sense because we're already hearing now that there's talks of Capcom greenlighting a remake for Resident Evil 4. But does anybody really think that Resident Evil 4 needed a remake? Because Resident Evil 4 was the first modern Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4 was built on better hardware and it had much better controls than its previous games. Like if you're going to remake one, I hear the fans crying. Why don't you make Code Veronica? It makes more sense.
And like I get it and I don't get it. Like Resident Evil 4 was probably my favorite because it was jammed down my throat when it came out on every single system. I had it on the GameCube and I had it on the PlayStation. I might have had it on the Xbox. I don't remember. Probably they had it on the Wii. They had it on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I get Capcom's thoughts. Hey, remaster, it's a hit. Hey, remaster, it's a hit. Or remake, sorry.
Dino Crisis, yes.
Just go with it. If that's what they want to do, just roll with it. Are you seriously not going to buy it or try it? Is there anybody who won't play a remake?
I would probably, because Resident Evil 4 was one of my first. Resident Evil 4 was the game that actually got me reinvested in the franchise, where Resident Evil 5 was the one that kind of hooked me in.
Right.
Resident Evil 8 pleases Jason Ellis. We got Damian Percival in the chat. What's going on, Damian? I think he's new, so welcome to the podcast. Greatly appreciate you being here. What's Jay saying? Graphic God, I love the positive side of this YouTube cesspool, so I help where I can. Fastback. Yeah, it can be a cesspool out there at times, no doubt about that. But yeah, so like, with movies, getting back to the topic at hand, so obviously remaking Doom, we've seen so many other remakes. So I guess what movie would you like to see remade, if anything, that hasn't been done so far? And then in the chat, welcome to chime in. What popular movie would you like to see redone, remade, if you could, with different actors or whatever? Probably can't think of anything yet.
This wasn't a topic. I'm not prepared to answer that shit.
Did I not put that as a question? Because I think that was where I was going with the whole thing.
You had one.
Oh, I said your pick for game that needs to die. Okay, there you go. So
my pick for the game is Parasite Eve, hands down. Okay. But a movie though, that's shit.
I would like to see honestly, the I know people will be blasting me here, but I would love to see a lot of the older Star Wars remade with new age special effects and different actors and stuff like that. And like I said, that's blasting to some people, but the original is still the best in my opinion. Like A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi. But then they seem so oddly out of place with the rest of the series now because they were built in so many different decades, and even the trilogy, the first three, 1, 2, and 3, episode 1, 2, and 3. Those movies seem so effing tacky now. They're worse than the original movies because their special effects are really glaring because they CGI the fuck out of everything. That wasn't all that good.
Yeah. Shit, that's a really hard question though, Nick. But Star Wars, that's you can't touch that. Don't you get enough hate mail as it is?
Yeah, no doubt. One of my favorite Arnold movies I wouldn't mind seeing get made over again was Commando from 1985. Jaws, I think Timothy Dixon was Jaws, the original Jaws now with the new special effects, but I think we already had that. Wasn't it called Deep Blue Sea?
Oh man.
No, there's a lot of movies out there, honestly, that if you had to reimagine them now with better special effects and like maybe even better actors per se, I'm surprised they haven't made Pee Wee Herman fucking movie over or something like that. E.T. the extra testicle. The old point. But what game or game genre would you guys like to see go away? What's something that just bugs the shit out of you? Because I know one that bugs the hell out of me to no end.
I have one too, actually.
You want to drop yours first?
Yeah, well, first of all, I am a fan of this series. I was for like years and years and years. But Dynasty Warriors, I think it's time.
Yeah. What are they on? Number 17?
Something crazy like, you're always going to have the same characters. Your history is never going to change. So it's like do something else. I know they tried a little, so like something different with Blade Storm, I think it was, where they did, or no, there's a Joan of Arc one that they did, and then they did Samurai Warriors too, which is like my favorite. But Dynasty Warriors, I think it's time to stop and maybe do something different. I love hack and slash. Give me more hack and slash. Just,
yes.
I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, like it's good to see Streets of Rage. The new Streets of Rage 4 is coming out, and it's so cool. They actually have they have characters that you can add into the game that are done with the sprite-based graphics, so they look just like they did on the old Genesis, and they're put into this like more like a hand-drawn game. It looks so cool, so that's pretty cool. We got, let's see, I'll catch up with the chat because we got a lot of people though here. Viking Norm is in the house, and he says get rid of the BR games. Darko Dreamer says the clicker genre, whatever the hell that is.
Point and clicks.
Point and click games.
Is that what you're talking about? The clicker?
That's what I'm thinking he's talking about. Graphic Gods.
You're gonna have to join my group after the show. I love point and clicks. Those are like some of my favorite game types.
Point and clicks, yeah. Like some people love them. For me, man, it's going to come down to like the battle royale as a genre. No matter what game we've tried it with, I can't get into it. So far, my favorite of the battle royales, it has got to be Apex. That's my favorite. If I'm going to be stuck with one, I'm going to pick Apex Legends. I don't even like the Call of Duty one that much. There's some things I do like about it compared to other ones, but the worst has to be PUBG because to me that game just plays like absolute dog shit. Some people are going to hate me for that, but I just, no matter how many times I try with PUBG, I cannot get into it. It's just too complicated. It's not fluid. It's just, I don't know. Hacky sack, sorry, brother. I know some people love it. I've tried it. I bought it. I gave it an honest effort and just cannot get into it. So for me, though, the one game that I wish would die and go away, and I'm going to take heat of this one again, is that fucking Fortnite. Oh my God.
Oh, it's still around?
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I haven't even played it. I can't even bring myself to play it because I hate it that much because I think it looks one like an absolute crap. They just copy everybody. They blatantly go and copy PUBG. They blatantly, like, all their best stuff in the game, they're just completely copying from people. And it becomes this phenomenon. The fact that they got dance moves in there and their kids are going around, they're coming into my store at work doing flosses and shit makes me hate.
Oh my gosh, I want to punch my kid in the face.
Yeah, I want to punch kids when I see them come into the fucking store and they're doing these stupid dances and shit. I'm like, really? And they eating the shit up. They're spending, that game is making multi-millions of dollars in microtransactions. I know I haven't spent a fucking red cent on it. And I just don't like it. I don't like battle royales, and I definitely don't like ones where it looks like cartoon-ass graphics and you're fucking dropping shit down while you're shooting at people. Like, I don't want to play a battle royale where I feel like I just had sex with a Minecraft game and made something up. No, and I agree in the chat. Fastback agrees with me. Get rid of it.
No, I don't get it either. I actually played Fortnite before it was a battle royale game where it was just kind of like a horde mode and survival, and that was kind of neat for a while. And then I doubt anybody ever played. Is that mode even available anymore? Do people even play that?
And again, it's a perfect example why I also dread these games, because as soon as they become popular, people can't be original anymore. Everybody and their dog goes and copies that format. I mean, how many copycats have we seen since that game become popular? Now, especially if you go to mobile, like, everybody's doing that crap, and they're all hoping for the next big thing, right? But it's the same. At the end of the day, it's still the same shit, right? I know I don't want BR in my Halo. Fuck, I got a funny feeling they're going to put it in there. Microsoft will probably make them put it in there because they'll think they're going to make a fortune on it. Keep it out of Halo. Halo doesn't need it.
I'm shocked yours doesn't have it yet. They did have their own, like, one for all in Judgment, but then that was it.
Yes. Dreadfuls' Fortnite is still on a beta. Beta of what? What the hell? I don't want to get a tangent. Look, I know I'm riling some feathers here. These are just my opinions, and
Right.
everybody's because I know there's people out there that love Fortnite. There's people out there that they play it religiously. And look, I can't tell you what to like, what you don't like. Some people love PUBG. I know Spider-Man's in the chat, and he loves PUBG. He's been trying to get me to play it a lot of times, and I just can't get into it. So yeah, but yeah, if that's the one game I would get rid of, I get rid of that game type, and I get rid of that game in particular. Like just But yeah, I can't do it. And everybody says, "Well, Noof, you got to go play these games because that's the only way you're going to get views on your mixer." Well, I guess I'm sorry, guys. I guess I'm just gonna have to be settled with shitty ass views because I'm not selling myself out to play games I don't want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no way. That'd be like somebody paying me to play fucking Sekiro over and over and over again. I'd rather beat my head off a drum. You know what I mean? No thanks. Yeah, exactly. Fortnite is all about who can build fast or high. That's all I see. I can't make no sense of it. When I watch people on the videos, I'm just trying to let me see if I can make 2 cents of it. All I see is jump, 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 build something, somebody shoot, swing, jump. Like it's I can't figure it out. It's just like it's too stupid. I don't know what the hell it is. Like where did he come up with that idea? I don't know. To make it different, I guess, but I can't. I don't know. The kids are eating it up. I don't know what the fuck's about it, but they love it. Anyway, man, I got sweaty just talking about that one. Do you have anything else to add on that one, Primal?
No, I'm good.
Well, speaking of streaming, segueing into another topic. Should pro athletes and celebs be streaming? This is an interesting topic. Some would say yes, some would say no. Well, if you haven't heard the latest, there is a NASCAR driver by the name of Kyle Larson who apparently was streaming because that's the popular thing to do for these athletes right now because they don't have, well, their jobs of playing sports. And I guess he dropped a racial slur during one of his streams. And now he's in hot water and was actually fired by his racing team. So that is no surprise, but what do you guys think? Do you think they should? Would you pay to watch your favorite athlete stream? Because we saw this rabbit hole open up before, and we saw it with popular streamers who aren't professional athletes. We saw this with was it PewDiePie said some shit a couple of years ago there, last year was it? They one way or another, some of these guys always stick their foot in their mouth, that sort of shit. So what do you think, Primal? Would you watch a celeb? Do you think they should even do it at all?
Yeah, I would. But people need to take this shit like with a grain of salt, and so do the celebrities. You know, this is like an at your own risk thing. We see these celebrities one way, but this is seeing a completely different side of them where they're more let loose and stuff. Like my mouth is actually horrible. I'm doing pretty good right now. My humor is actually completely distasteful and zero morals. But I'm speaking to people here. I'm not going to try and offend you guys. I'm not going to, I'm just. It's when I say at your own risk is if you see somebody in a different light, that's just them being them. And people slip and say things all the time. Is it right? No, not at all. But you can turn that shit off if you don't like it, and not everybody is exactly who they may seem. So don't be surprised and shocked if you hear something come out of somebody's mouth that you wouldn't expect. And as celebrities should know that, hey, your audience is going to see you in a different way. Are you sure you want to do this? Mm-hmm. And especially on the internet, you can't go back. You can't take your words back. So yes, would I pay to watch a celebrity? No. But I would watch some celebrities play shit.
Yeah, and me too. I mean, I think it was last year Jack Black started getting into it and created his own channel and immediately got, and Jack Black's a funny guy. I would watch Jack Black. I could probably, if Jim Carrey was a gamer, I'm sure I could probably sit there and watch Jim Carrey play a game. And I think a lot of us feel like that. I mean, it's actually kind of cool to see these athletes who we only see one side of, out playing sports. And that's all. And when you see them in interviews, what do they talk about? Their sport. Their sport. Their sport. Mm-hmm. So I say yes, just because we get to see a different side of them that we haven't seen, maybe a more human side. Because I'm sure when they're streaming, they're probably having some fun. They're probably letting loose. But again, that comes with the territory that, sometimes stuff slips. And, this day and age, I mean, I know for some people, they say it's habitual. It's just one of those things, right? But in this day and age, again, you got to be very careful what you say, who you're offending. God knows the two of us on this panel know this better than anybody because we tend to get a little bit raunchy on here, which I'm sure some people would take offense to. But then again, you have the option to tune in or tune out. But
Right.
that's the problem with the internet. When you say something wrong, people screen cap that shit. They go back at you, and they don't let it rest until they have some sort of social justice. I mean, I think a lot of it's blown out of proportion in most cases. But sometimes people are real assholes too, and the truth comes out, right? That's the problem. There are racist people out there who hide behind masks, they hide behind personas,
Right.
and then they get on a mic and they forget where they are for a couple of minutes, and then boom, shakalaka, they just drop some stuff, and they go, oh, and they're not sorry for what they said. They're sorry they got caught, and that's the difference.
Right?
Exactly.
And everybody has like, okay, Newf, I know you probably do the same thing with me. There's certain things that we would say with no problem on this show versus if we were on Boom Show, we would probably tone it down a bit. And then also, like, what I love about our show is that we can take people that are on other podcasts that do have to tone it down, and then we get to see a different light of them on our show. It all just depends on the situation, time, and place.
Right.
And like you said, if it makes you uncomfortable, if you don't like it, then you have the option of not.
That's why I was asking what he said. I don't even know. I haven't seen the footage. I just saw the articles. So I'm sure if you look it up on Google or wherever you go right now, you can get all the information.
I'm sure just Google the name.
Just put it in. What's his name? Kyle Larson or whatever his name is. He's a NASCAR driver, and it goes from there. If anybody in this chat, hey, I'm an old white fat dude. You know what? And if anybody in this chat ever called me a cracker, I honestly laugh at you because I don't take one bit of offense to that at all. Everybody's different. You can't rile me up, but then again, like I said, I'm an old fat white guy, and racism, I guess, often comes across a little differently for us because most of the time we're always the ones who are looked at as the big ass racist motherfuckers on the planet. So.
Right. So, I get it from both sides, though, Noob. That's the thing. I hear things from both ends because I am mixed, and then I get shit because I am mixed. Like, even my kid will throw something at me. Like, she'll tell me that I'm like hot caramel, or I'm like, I'm an Oreo. It's just like certain things like that. I hear it. Does it bother me? No. It's just some of this shit is just silly. They're just words. They're just silly words. If you know who you are, words like that aren't going to hurt you. So
I have no idea. Well, Philly has a great point in the chat. Like, sometimes it's not just the word itself; it's the intention behind the word. It's how somebody drops it in relation to what they're talking about. You know what I mean? But it's never right. That's the bottom line. I'm never going to say it's right. It's not right. There's 100 million other words that we can all use when we're playing games without using stuff that's going to really bother somebody, and it will bother somebody. That's the thing. So, but anyway,
who you're with, I have a tight group of friends. We speak very freely. None of us are offended, and we know this, and we keep it that way. We're not going out in public saying shit all the time and whatever, knowing that we'll offend somebody. You just have to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, it's like sexual harassment. Like, man, a woman would have to be really, really, really nasty to ever for me to go, you just sexually harassed me. Maybe I'm weird like that. I don't know. Like a lady could probably grab my junk, and I would probably say, hey, I didn't appreciate that, but I wouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm going to call the fucking cops. I'd probably be flattered that she actually had the balls to reach out and grab my balls. But
I know, isn't that crazy? I sometimes I don't think I could be sexually harassed either. Like, I wouldn't be really offended unless you actually do plan on looking through my window or something like that. But I don't feel like it doesn't affect me as much as it does with other ladies today. We've talked about this before. We've gone down this road.
That's why we love you so much, because you are a goddamn rarity out here.
I think you love me because I can be harassed without feeling harassed. Thanks. No, I see it.
You're so down to earth. I think people in the chat and myself, you can feel a certain level of comfort around you. Whereas most people, even in this podcast, we want to get more ladies into the podcasting stuff too, but you don't know, because a lot of them just seem so, they're either very fake or they're very uptight. You know, it's like you said, like these podcasters, the female podcaster that use their sexuality for hits and views, but the moment you say something,
and then they're offended by it. So why did you bring it upon yourself? And that drives me nuts.
That happened a while back. I was following this girl on Twitter. She's a cosplayer. Mm-hmm. And most of her cosplay is pretty provocative for the most part. She knows what she's doing. And I said something, and even what I said was kind of a joke. And then she kind of comes at me right away. And then, of course, she gets all of her cronies or followers. And they're like,
and shit like that.
Oh, yeah. They're just like letting me have it. I'm like, why the fuck are you guys all getting so like offensive? Like, it's what I said was a joke, and I even apologized, and she blocks me the whole. It's like you people are fucking hypocrites. Like, you can't be one way and act another way, and then expect fucking people to be just like, okay, you know. And then you see them, they're not like some of the ones I follow on Twitter. They'll take a picture of them in a sexy outfit. Oh, and then they have a second picture. They have a second picture of that outfit, but it's zoomed up on one area, like the tits or the butt.
Like, yeah, come on,
right? And you're just like, so you know, don't tell me you don't fucking know what you're doing, and you have all these Patreons that you want people to go to, and the more you pay for the Patreon, the sexier the photos tend to get. Some will even get down to lewd or nude. Oh, if you pay $50, I ain't fucking paying no girl $50 a month to see her cootie. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You know,
I'm a subscription to see one cootie a month. Well, some of you guys might need that, but no, I don't understand it, and I'm kind of. I get it empowering. I get it's like being sexy and shit like that, and having guys give you attention, but you better like prepare yourself for that attention. You better accept that type of attention. Don't be offended by that attention because you brought it upon yourself. So that's how sorry.
Well, Abacat brings up in the chat too. Terry Crews, I think last year at one point he had brought up something. I guess some girl grabbed him by the junk or did something that he didn't like, and then he's talking about it. And I love Terry Crews, all the pieces, but I couldn't even believe he brought it up because, like, you know, you look at Terry Crews and it's not like the kind of guy that you be like, yeah, he got offended by that. You know what I mean?
I just.
But the president of the United States, he walks off a plane and he gets caught on a thing. I'd like to grab her by, was it? Grab her by the box or some fucking thing. Oh man, grab her by the pussy. Yeah, that's your president. So there you go.
Right. Really huge representation of how we are today. And honestly, it's true.
Fuck. It was a guy that grabbed his junk. Okay. I thought it was a lady, but okay.
Sure.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
I'm over everybody.
To each their own, man. That's all. I'm going to leave that. We're getting off topic here, but oh, man, unbelievable. Like, I don't know what kind of world we live in anymore. I don't know if it's bad from one way or bad from the other. I can't tell anymore.
No, and there's no, you're fucked if you do, fucked if you don't. So just do it.
Well, speaking of nudity and all things, and this was weird. I saw this article today that Walt Disney or Disney Pictures, whatever, the channel stuff. Well, they're showing a lot of movies these days, right? They're even going back to the old catalog and they're showing movies. So this one made some headlines. Apparently, like, you remember the old movie Splash from the 80s with Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah? Well, at several scenes in that movie, she shows off her very nice behind. Well, apparently they have now digitally altered her hair to be longer so it covers up her butt. They can't even show a bum. They don't ever show her boobs in that movie. It was just her butt. So now they're actually censoring that in old movies, and that kind of makes me wonder how many more movies are they going to go back and alter so they make them more family fucking friendly or some shit. Like, this is getting a bit too much, man. Eve, weigh in on this one.
So many people are offended. It's just like I grew up watching shit I probably should have never watched. Mm-hmm. You know, I grew up watching, like, I know I'm a little bit younger than some of you guys, but like I watched fucking Ren and Stimpy and fucking some of the shit on there. There was butts there all the time, and that was on fucking Nickelodeon. Like, that was what I watched every day. Mm-hmm. You know, there were certain shows, fucking, I would watch MTV with Beavis and Butthead and all that shit. I grew up on this shit, and now it's like we need to censor everything for the kids because everybody is offended. I do get it, but hey, you know what? Just like with fucking watching a celebrity say things that you may not like, if it's a movie that has something you don't like, turn the shit off.
Exactly. Like, altering the content, I think it's going a bit far. I mean, what's next? Somebody complains about porn and they start putting the black dots on everything.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
That's like Asian porn.
It would. There'd be so many blocks that we'd start to think the Minecraft characters were doing it. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Get more action or see more action on Minecraft.
Oh. You ever see those bad, like in the 80s and 90s, see like some of those bad movies when they're trying to put a rated R movie on like public television and they're adding in all the F words and edit F words, and then they either do a camera angle or they do a cut or they do like there's something that blocks out the nudity.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh my God.
Like if it was Samuel Jackson, he'd be like, that mother poopy head. Like,
yeah, and this is why my friends that I prefer the original copies, or I go out and I buy the the discs or whatever, because if you're gonna start relying on streaming, no one's to say they're ever like those are on a server and they can change them at a whim, right? You can't change the disc that you have with the movie on it. You get the original copy, right? So there's another bonus to still being a physical media connoisseur, right? So that's another reason. Yeah, like a lot of the old cartoons and stuff, man, back in the day, they would have been so offensive. And like he was saying there in the chat, like Darko, he says like, and he's a kid, he listens to old Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor stuff. Like a lot of the old comedy too from the days back in the days that would never fly today. The only guy who could even remotely get away with it seems like these days is Dave Chappelle, and he's taking so much shit for that stuff too. So protect your movie nudity with hacky sex as physical media. Oh man, like I just can't believe, like, I mean, that's not even like if you're like upset because you saw a bum, like, oh my God, man, you need to get a life. You need to just turn off the fucking television, period. Because honest to God, you'll see more offensive shit on the afternoon news than you'll see in half of these movies. But okay, that's what I said with this world. It's screwed up. Because anytime it's screwed up, that nudity gets more fucking hate or whatever, bad press than fucking people blowing people's brains out. Mm-hmm. God forbid, you ban a fucking gun or whatever. But you show a tit or something and it's like, I don't understand. I don't know why everything is so for the violence, but nudity or sexual stuff is like taboo. Like, what the fuck?
Well, no, there's certain things like, wait, with my kid, she could see boobies because, like, she's a girl. All girls have boobs, but I don't want her seeing somebody's dong,
right,
winging around. Like, there's certain things, of course not. But
you got to do it accordingly,
right?
Yeah. I'm not saying to your kids, you show you get your 12-year-old, start showing them all the rated R movies, where there's. Each parent should know their child, and then it's at your discretion how you ease them in and explain this thing. And that's the bottom line with any kids. It's as long as they understand what it is that they're watching and they know the principles and values and they're brought up properly, from to know the rights and the wrongs. You know what I mean? What's okay and what's not okay. That's the thing, because a lot of these kids, they don't get that supervision. They're kind of put in front of the TV, left to their own devices. Like because of the internet now, I mean, kids see and know about more porn than I ever did when I was their age. Because the only way I got to see anything, the only way I got to is if I went to somebody's house and found like an old dirty magazine underneath the bed. That was it. And you're like, oh,
secret catalog.
Oh, I'm telling you, the Sears catalog used to come. You spend half an hour in the bra section, going, "Wow, look at that, man!" Right? But that was it back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Man.
Everything. I don't know.
Who haven't I given a shout out to yet? What's going on? Our Philly Eagle is in the house. Darko's Dreamers, Hacky Sack, Jesse Darby, Joe Dunmore, Infinite. Man, we got a good crew here tonight. Oh, 31 watching, man. Most people have been hanging out here the whole show. Easy Money 4K is in the house. Easy Money. What's going on, brother? Glad you can make it. Glad you came out. Good to see you here. I watched a lot of Scrambled Skinamax in my time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I did too. And then there was this music show or music network called The Box. Mm-hmm. And then every night at 11, it would turn into I just forgot. It wasn't the Playboy channel. It was something else. Damn it.
Yeah. It's like when you're a kid and the first time you sort of see this stuff, you like get a Playboy magazine, right? And we always thought like, whoa, look at this shit. And then all of a sudden your buddy comes over and he brings the hardcore one and you're like, holy fuck, what is that?
And now I'm fucking like, I'm so desensitized. There's like no porn that like interests me anymore. Like I'm like I already seen
Playboy was it like 2 years ago? Playboy actually went to. I've heard they went back, but they actually. Did you guys know that Playboy actually took all of the nudes out of their book for a little while there?
what?
Yeah, they actually did. Playboy actually took all the centerfold stuff out of their magazine. I'm not fucking kidding. I heard they went back. I don't know if anybody in the chat can confirm this, but they actually did that. So Playboy was basically like Maxim. There was no nudity. I think they still might have had scantily clad girls in there, but they had like no nudity. So I was like, holy shit! Like now it's getting bad when that one's even getting censored. Because that to me, that book was always more classy. There wasn't even nothing to get fucking worked up on in that one. Right? Back in his day, we used to watch HBO porn through the squiggly lines. See,
I did it.
Money, drop $5 in the super chat. He says, I grew up on Ren and Stimpy in South Park, and I turned out pretty fucking all right. I'd say you did, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think I'm all right, considering all the fucked up shit I grew up on. Yeah.
I think one of the first movies I ever watched was fucking Rambo, and like I never went out with a gun and was going around, I gotta shoot the shit out of this town. Original First Blood was one of the first movies I ever watched. I think I watched that before I watched some of the cartoons, for fuck's sake. So, Girls Gone Wild, does that even exist anymore? That was like the big thing for a while.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All righty. But anyway, that was another topic on the list, and we're getting down. I guess we're just about ready to close the show here now. So, Primal's internet is still rolling, guys.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, we have gotten through pretty much all our topics tonight. So now it is time to get to our final one of the evening, and that is the question of the week.
So I saw, like, I love my memes. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I post here and there. But there was one asking, like, what is, like, the weirdest thing that someone has ever said or done to you while you're having sex, or, like, an intimate moment? Like, has anybody ever said anything to you that made you, like, stop for a second or touch you in a way that you weren't expecting?
Well, you can go on this one because I really don't have the story. I told you about my most embarrassing moment before, but this is like what someone said, and I can't think of anything that was crazy said. So,
well, the weirdest thing, and that made me kind of like I laughed for it for a few days, and I did have to tell like my two best buddies about it because it just completely like what I had anal sex, okay, haha, and the guy thanked me for letting me have him put his penis in my butt. Like that was
rarely happens.
Yeah. And he said thank you so much, and I was so weirded out by this shit, and I'll never forget that night because I wanted to hurry up and get on the Xbox and play Gears.
There you go, true gamer in the house right there, baby. There you go. Anybody in the chat? Anybody here got any crazy stories? I honestly can't. Although I will say if I'm married now and this never happened, so probably never would. But if when I hear like those stories where they ask you like to suck on their feet and stuff like that, that would throw me right the fuck off. Because there's a lot of things I wouldn't do, but I'm not into sucking anybody's feet.
Suck my toes.
That's one of those fetishes that some people like. That I'm sorry, I cannot do.
Right up another. So I was really drunk, and this guy was going for it, and that's really weird. And I've never had anybody do it. And he told, like, actually, I think I did tell this story before. I don't know if it was on the dosage or last year. We've been doing this for a while now. And he told me that my feet smell like brownies. Now, I don't know if I have like dirty feet or like some really awesome smelling feet, but he was like all about it, and he was gonna like inhale them shits, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna keep my toes to myself. So like, I don't know, it's just weird. Even thinking about it right now, it's making my toes burn.
Yeah, I'd rather go down on a dirty snatch than go down some fucking feet. Let me tell you. Darko got a weird one in the chat here. I'm just catching up on, and hopefully I'm reading this right. I was told that we couldn't do anything tonight because her brother needed it, and she was a little dirty down there. What the fuck?
Hang on, we need.
I'm not sure if I'm reading that the whole way, but that sounds a little bit like is that some sort of incestual fucking thing going on? Like you're trying to go with a girl, but her brother needs it first.
Yeah, I'm trying to. You need to reword that. That reminds me, there was this other meme, and it was like, well, what was the most awkward sexual moment for you? And they said, when our grandmother walked in. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Can I join in?
I would be like, what the fuck too, Darko? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I'd be like WTF indeed. Like, am I missing something here? Joe Dunmore says got walked in on by this girl's brother, and he just said, "Keep doing what you're all doing." Well, that's not too bad. I'm sure lots of people have gotten walked in on before. You know, you just open the door, go okay, and then you just walk on.
That's what I'm trying to like. Is that
yeah,
you generous? Like taking it for the team.
that is a funny one. Yeah. That one I can't forget now. That one's great.
Yeah, that's
Darko, I hate Tennessee. Is that something implying something, Darko? Down in Tennessee. Oh fuck. Down in Tennessee, it might be your sister you'll see. Oh man. I had a chick once say, "I am puppy," and I was instantly was just finished. I am Poppy. Oh fuck. That'd be pretty funny. Hacky Sack says, was at a party before and ended up sleeping there. People started banging next to me, so I slept in the car. Probably you still there?
Yeah, I'm
okay. I thought I was losing you for a second. I was going, oh shit, is her engine getting ready to crash?
No, I'm still recovering from the brother needed it.
One time a girl walked in on me and her eye got poked.
Oh.
I think she was waxing the old rim there. Otherwise, you were pretty far from the South Pole on that one.
Yeah, I papi. That's not. I couldn't do that. No one's getting called any type of daddy. That's just weird.
Hiya, papi. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, if a girl walked in on you and got her eye poked, how tall is this girl? It took me a second.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Well, there you go. The North Pole. Any type of daddy. Yeah. When they call you daddy and stuff, that's kind of weird. Yeah. But anyway. Woo! That's a hell of a good show. This was awesome. Dreadpool says, was it Luca? Oh, fuck. That's funny. Poor girl. Yeah, she's known for being short, that girl. Oh, my God. Oh. Well, anyway, to everybody in the chat, you guys have been awesome. That's what we love you, because everybody that comes out to this podcast knows what they're in for. And you guys keep coming out each and every week. So I hope I give everybody a shout out tonight. Like I said, because each and every one of you, you're fantastic. Like I said, we don't all have to agree on things. Sometimes our opinions are going to be quite different, but that's what it's about being a grown-up, man. We're all entitled to different opinions. We like different things. Yeah. But the main thing at the end of the night is that you guys all like Gaming After Dark with me and Primal, right?
Yeah.
So good stuff. So hey, Nate is here. What's going on? How you doing? I don't know if you're just hanging out there for a while. Squirrely Dan, thanks for the compliment. Greatly appreciate it, brother. And I'll catch up with you on Xbox here soon. That's why they're opinions. Absolutely. Like the old saying is, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. So
right.
And go ahead, Problem.
Well, no, I was just going to say, like earlier, I'm just joking. Everybody can have their opinions. I do love a good, healthy debate, and I like going back and forth and having good conversations because I like to see other people's point of views. Because you never know, it could change mine or make me like mine even better. So yeah, I just want everybody to know that I don't dislike or like anybody more for what they like and what they enjoy. So
That's right. And it's all about perspective, right? Like, for example, so for some girls, a 6-inch dick is not all that small. But if she's been used to having guys that got 10 inches, she might go, you got a little wiener. You know what I mean? So it's all about perspective. Primal just keeps her mouth shut there.
I'm done for the night. I'm spent.
Yeah. You like them thicker than longer, though, right?
I just like them at all.
Oh. She just likes it all. She likes all of it. Yes, guys, everybody, make sure you be safe, please. Adhere to the regulations, guidelines. That, like I said, once they say the faster we do this, the faster we get out of it. So just I'm glad the show makes people's day go by so much. Me and Primal enjoy coming to you every single week. That sounded wrong. But yes, and like I said, next week you don't want to miss it. I'm going to try to line up a couple of amazing guests for next week's show. We might have 2 or 3, because if it is going to be the final podcast for maybe a couple of weeks until I get my internet shit sorted out, that is unless Primal wants to go to her YouTube and host. But then again, I still wouldn't be able to do it because I still wouldn't have internet. Never mind.
That's not going to happen.
Right. Yes, but I got an update with the new banners and all that shit here soon as well. Like I said, great job by the graphic god. It was in the chat earlier. Yeah, he's fantastic. But that's it. So without any further ado, Primal, let everyone know where they can track you down and follow you.
Holy shit, I feel like I haven't done this in forever. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Primal Eve. I'm also on the Xbox, also Primal Eve. I'm also on the PSN. Guess what? As Primal Eve. So I am kind of difficult to get in contact with. I am also kind of stubborn when it comes to playing, but I one of these days I will play with everybody. It'll be like a little tour bus. I've always wanted to do that, actually. I know this is kind of out of nowhere.
Do everybody on a tour bus?
Yes, I want to go on a Primal Eve tour bus and just like travel around the country, and I'll even go up into Canada because I've made all these new Canadian friends. Just to hang out, play some games. But just a huge thanks for you guys for watching us, and I'm so sorry about my internet. It decides to do what it wants to do, and thank you, New, for putting up with my bullshit. I try. There really isn't anything I could do, but I try.
Wouldn't have it any other way, Primal. Yes. You're a big part of this podcast, and everybody that comes out here has said it. When you're not here, they miss you. They're always asking me questions, so like I said, I wouldn't have it any other way. Got to have you here. This is what makes the show tick. It wouldn't be gaming after dark without the dark side of this podcast.
Not racist, dude. No, just joking. That was a joke.
I know.
Panties out of a twist.
Hey, right on. Joe Dunmore is a Canadian. That's the last name for my persona, Cletus Dunmore, that I do. That's his name. Yeah. There you go. So you guys know where to find Primal. You know where to find me. It's just Noof Nukem. It's on just basically, I tell most people, if you just follow me on Twitter, it's the easiest thing because I update that the most. I'm on that quite a bit. So just follow me on there. It's Noof Nukem on Xbox. Right now, I have an Xbox on the Switch. For those of you who don't know, half tempted to get another PlayStation 4, which if I do, it'll be my 5th one. I know. Don't even ask, guys. It's a long story.
It won't last either.
It'll probably get traded in. But anyway, great show again tonight. Infinite, thanks so much. Greatly appreciate it. We will see you all again next week. Everybody, take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Stay out of harm's way. Just do the things, man. It's a good time to be a gamer right now because they're actually encouraging us to be in fucking doors playing games. Like, when has that ever happened where we're actually gone like, hey, gamers are awesome. They're actually doing what they're told.
Stay home and play your games.
All right. So we'll see you all again next week. Peace out, everybody.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
And probably your internet lasted the whole show.
Holy shit. Even longer than I thought it was. No, you don't understand. I kept looking at my clock. I'm like, oh fuck.
Good night, everyone.
You're gonna get into there real quick.
I just